Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So Shiggy as usual, you already know what it is. So this is my first video of the year and I'm very excited because as you guys know, I've been on the streak of not posting, aka posting only useful content that I think will actually help you guys. So with that being said, today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my mobile setup, my mobile workflow, we should call, yes, the setup. Anyways, I have the pleasure of using a really cool app called the Dehancer app. As you guys know, I've been working with Dehancer quite a bit. So when they said they have a mobile app, I've been playing with this app for like 2 months, which has been really incredible. So I use this mobile setup to just edit any quick photographs. So like, let's say I get 35mm photos of my friends. I kind of just edit them on my phone or my iPad. That's pretty much that. I don't need them to be very intensively edited because they're just more fun photos and they're just really relaxed photos. Also very important to keep my work consistent, and this app kind of does a really good job with that. So okay, let's just get straight into the app. Okay guys, so when you get into the Dehancer app, this is how the interface looks. It's a really cool interface. You can see your film roll, which is something super duper neat. I like that because it's very immersive and it makes you feel like you're shooting film. I know it sounds stupid, it's just a film roll of your... Okay, so when you import a photograph, you're greeted with this beautiful interface. Very simple and straightforward. On the bottom, you're gonna see all your presets. If you want to manage your presets, which is really cool, or see what Dehancer offers, you're just gonna go on the bottom right where it says category, and you're gonna get all the options, which are really neat. So let's say you do end up saving your own preset, which you probably most likely will end up doing. You pretty much can access them through this option at the bottom right where it says all presets, my presets, which I'm actually gonna give Dehancer to give you guys to drop them when I drop this video. I really highly recommend you guys to check it out. But we're gonna get into the edit section right now, which is located in the middle. So in the edit section, you're gonna get all your sliders at the bottom over here. You're gonna get your source, films, compression, expand, print, color head, film grain, halation, and bloom. All attributes that you guys are pretty much familiar with, and if you're not familiar with them, they're just pretty much ways to edit your photograph. At the top left corner, you're gonna get your histogram. It pops up at the bottom over here. So we're gonna get into the source section. So the source section has pretty much all your exposures, your exposure dials, and your temperature dials. So you know what? There is the film section. Let's go into the film section and pick a preset. This is what I really like about the Dehancer app. It's very simple for that quick job, or that job that doesn't need a lot of intensive work. You can do it intensively. I just prefer to do the intensive work on my computer because I do retouching. So if you're a street photographer and you're just trying to get photos to look like film, this is perfect. Really perfect for that. We're gonna go into the film section. We're gonna go check out all their film options. So you could get motion pictures, which is like sampled pretty much from like Super 8, and you got your black and white. You know where I like to be, in the black and white section. We're not going to touch on all of them, but these are all the options you have in terms of the film types you want to get. They're actually labeled and sampled from the actual films, which is really cool. And they even have the push and pull option on all this. I haven't gotten any app that is this intensively detailed and actually samples from this film accurately, which is really nice. So with that being said, let's pick a preset. So I'm actually gonna stick in the color negative section because it's really showing me really nice. Oh, Sinisto 800T. We're gonna pick that one. I'm loving the way this looks. Let's check out the before and after already. You can tell it's a little bit toned down, and you can get those really nice purples into the tones, which are really nice. And then we're gonna go back into the source section, and then now we're gonna play around with our exposure a little bit. So in the source section, we're gonna actually, I love warmer color tones, guys. So we're gonna actually add a little bit of temperature comp. And the tint, we're gonna actually bring this up just ever so slightly. And then we're gonna scroll down a bit. Difference, I'm not gonna touch. Difference radius, I'm not gonna touch either. And we're gonna go into the compression section. Okay, so we're in the compression section. So the compression section pretty much messes with your highlights a bit. So you're able to sort of control your highlights, which is really nice. I don't know if you guys have noticed that highlights on film are very like toned down. They're not like super like blown out. that's what this pretty much does. It pretty much helps you kind of reduce that blown out aspect and give it that more film-like look, we're gonna call it. We're not gonna play with the compression section because I already shot this on film. This is a film photo, just not edited, which is something I cannot do. I have to edit my film photo. Oh yeah, so now we're in the expand section, which is really, really nice because I get to play with my black points and my white points. But what's really cool, guys, is that this app was created to emulate film. So you're not gonna find digital adjustments. So they're not gonna look muddy like digital. They're not gonna look like fake black points. They actually sampled a lot of these adjustments from film, which is really, really nice. It's really cool the way it kind of works. So we're gonna play around with the white point a little bit. So you're not getting that like super digital look, as you could tell that in the shadows actually over here. So it's actually retaining the way the film looks, which is really, really cool. So we're gonna adjust the black points a little bit. I like to get some of that shadow detail. Look at that, like you're able to get all your shadow detail, which is really, really nice. So in my expand section, I kind of keep it very, very simple. I just lower the black points and I just went up on the white points to kind of lower those whites a little bit. Oh guys, so next we're gonna get into the print section, which is really, really cool. So the print section is pretty much sampled from actual process of creating prints. When I read about this, I was like, oh, this is so dope. So you're gonna get those really nice rich colors out of the print section, and the exposure is gonna be adjusted very, very uniquely, which is cool. When I change the tonal contrast, saturation, we're gonna keep it the same. Color density, we're gonna also keep it the same. And that's pretty much that. We're gonna go in the color head. The color head is super cool again. I really like this section because I get to play around with my colors more in depth, more directed to like the tones, like for example the shadows or the mid-tones or the highlights. We're gonna actually make those a little bit more yellow because we're gonna complement the mid-tones a bit. That's how I think about it, at least. I love just warmer tones because they just make photos feel a lot more wholesome, especially photos of friends, which is really nice. And then on the next section, we're gonna get the film grain section. This is the section I personally love. I've been playing around with this and I've been super excited to make this video for quite a while. Oh guys, so I got way too excited trying to get straight to the edit, and I forgot to explain to you guys why Dehancer is quite different and why I picked them even to create film grain for my digital work. So it's not like every other program where they just actually put an overlay on there that you just are able to move around and then able to resize. So they're not creating fake grain. So they actually get the grain from the brightness and the shadow details. It's a little bit more complex than that. Pretty much almost means like every photo could even have different types of grain, which is really, really cool because they're actually grabbing the grain from the image instead of like overlay, which is super duper neat. Now, back to overexcited me trying to edit this photograph. This is absolutely insane. So they keep in mind the types of film that you have. So you pretty much get negative film or positive film. So your negative film grain is more pronounced in the highlights, which is really, really cool. So your positive film grain actually reduces the softness of your grain, which is super awesome. The grain I like is the classic type of grain, which is the positive grain. So we're gonna add a little bit more amount of grain. This photo is a bit grainier, but I love when I'm able to see my grain a little bit more. I actually like when it's a bit more chunkier grain, which is really, really nice, similar to 800 film. Do you know when you're using Lightroom slider for grain, it gets super duper mucky and like chunky? This doesn't do that. So it's not gonna give you like crazy mucky results because that's not what film looks like. It doesn't look that mucky. They did a really incredible job emulating this. That's why I love it, and that's why I'm so excited to share this app with you guys. But this looks really, really incredible so far. I'm gonna add just a little bit. I like chunkier grain, not chunkier, but like similar to when I shoot like 800 speed film. What's also cool is you can control your resolution, because your resolution, when you add film, when you have more grain, your resolution actually decreases quite a bit. It gets a little bit more like softer in the sharpness of the subject, and the grain kind of takes over. So they actually even kept that in mind with the resolution. I hope I explained that correctly. I think I did. So next we're gonna go into the shadows. You actually could add more grain into your shadows and incorporate more of that in your shadows. I actually like to add more grain to my shadows. I kind of like to leave it more even. Sometimes I might even make it all like 100 and 100 on the midtones. and highlights 100 to just have an even grain structure, which is really nice. And then that's pretty much that for the film grain section. At the bottom there is color. I don't really mess with that slider, so we're not gonna really look at it or try to mess with it, but we're gonna go into the halation. So the halation section is really cool. You find this pretty much on Cinestill film. It pretty much affects the brighter areas of your film where there's really good, really bright lights, usually around tungsten lights. So if you have any light source, the halation section pretty much adds a little bit more of that glow and that redness around any bright light source. This app does a really good job differentiating what your contrast edges are and where your highlights are and where pretty much the effect is supposed to take place. And it's done really well. I'm not even gonna add that into this image, but you could see it around my face, around the hat, which is really nice, and around all my friends' face. So I highly recommend this if you're shooting like night photos. For this photo, I'm not gonna add any of that, which is not necessary, because why would I need halation on a photo of my friends? Like, it makes no sense. But the halation, if you want it, you have it. It's in the app, and you can have your photos looking like Cinestill film. Okay, so next section we have the bloom section, which is really cool. Again, Dehancer did another incredible job. It's also affecting where there's brighter sources of light. So even in the pants, you can see it kind of affecting the pants over here. So even your highlights around my hats, you can see it in the back. You can see that glow happening in here, which is really cool. It pretty much softens the skin a bit. It's pretty much the Pro Mist filter, and what's very interesting about this is done really well. I don't know how they did it, but it's done extremely well, because the softness is gradual. It's not really like, oh, here's a big blob of highlight, fucking have it. You know, it's really done well, which is really nice. And I really like the amount of work that they've done on this app. You pretty much get simple adjustments like amplify, which pretty much amplifies the glow and the highlights. And we also got source limiter, which is really cool. It limits the effect quite a bit as well. And we also got details, diffusion, save lights, saturation, and impact. Again, all these sliders are very simple. This is the impact for the glow. That's pretty much how it's going to impact your image. And a lot of these sliders, guys, you just gotta kind of play around with them. If I explain all of them, they're pretty much redundant. It's pretty much, it works the same way as I've explained in every other section. And I want to leave the creative juices to kind of flow and for you to experiment with it. But you do have that if you want to have that. Last but not least, we have the vignette option. So pretty much the vignette section creates a circle around your image, creating either a shadow or a highlight, to keep it very simple. So you got your exposure to adjust your exposure of a vignette, and you also got your size. So this adjusts the circle aspect of your vignette, so the outer glow or the outer shadow. You guys already have used this before, so I don't really need to explain this too much. Maybe we could do something here. Let's do something. Let's add a dark vignette in here. So you pretty much lower your exposure, and then you could actually add the size of your circle. You can see it lower in your circle. We're gonna add the size of your circle, and you actually have the feather. So the feather smooths out the transition from the highlight to the shadow. It makes it more smooth. It's not like a jagged edge, and it's not too like in your face, which is really nice. So you also have the feather option, like I said, and the aspect ratio, which is also really cool. I'm not really gonna put that in there. Okay guys, so let's take a look at the before and after of this edit. So here's the before, and here's the after. Before, after, before, after, which looks really incredible. It looks just like film. Look at the film grain in there. Look at that. That looks absolutely incredible. I love the way this came out. I'm actually gonna save it and add it. I'm actually gonna save this preset and actually give it to you guys and all the adjustments that I created. Yeah, that's pretty much that. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It was so fun recording. I missed recording. I hope you guys can tell by the enthusiasm creating this video. But huge shout out to Dehancer, and guys, I thank you so much for your support, because I'm able to test out these apps before they even come out, and I'm able to give my opinion, and it's all thanks to you guys that I'm able to create this. So this app is available in your app store. It's only available on iPhone right now, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna create an Android version, because they create versions for all these platforms. And guys, also check out the other stuff. They use really good, they pretty much have the same exact presets on Lightroom and Photoshop, and they're way better for if you want to do more intensive stuff. With that being said, guys, I'm also really excited to announce my new zine coming out. I call this the mixtape zine because it's not my official project, which is Fashion and Faces. This is like a little bit in between, like a little interlude. I call it the mixtape. I'm really excited to kind of bring this into the film community and to kind of share this. So do expect a zine from me really soon. Thank you guys again for your support. I love you so much. Follow me on Instagram at Shop by Shingy and check out my portfolio. It's really updated. Check out my portfolio, please. You will find more and better work and higher quality work at shopbyshingy.com. And yeah, that's pretty much that. Hit the subscribe button and give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it.